Hello, good afternoon everyone. Thank you for coming to join me today. I just wanted to bring you along with another project that I'm just starting. I'm going to do a couple of Christmas themed journals, and the papers that I'm using for this is from Amy at Craftycat, and it's called Letters to Santa. And I've split the kit between two journals. This one actually won't be the front cover, but I ran out of paper, so I've got to get some more. I've put the trims on the fronts. Don't know if you can see that. One's got like a tartan ruffle and some bobbles, and the other one's got tabs on. The one with tabs, I think it's going to be a wrap round, which is why I haven't put ruffle on it, because sometimes it's a bit hard. The ruffles get squished when I do a wrap around one. So that's the way I'm thinking at the minute. So Amy's papers are really beautiful. They're lovely with Santas on and doilies, and she's done lots of layering with them. And I've added some backgrounds that are from tailor-made journals, different papers in here. So I've actually gone through what I had from last year and pulled out some odds and ends, and just had a look at what I've got that's kind of Christmassy themed. I love that image of that little boy. And there's a Santa in the middle of that one. And then this one has got similar, it's got the same kit pages in. So these are the letters to Santa as well from Amy. And I'll put a link to her website below. And these are her background papers from, can't remember, I'll have to have a look. Can't remember, sorry Amy. She'll shout and tell me, I know she will. She'll let me know. But I will put a description below to what the kits I'm using from Amy. So yeah, that's where I am with these at the moment. And then this one in the middle has got the little boy blowing a trumpet and the dog's hiding. That would be my dog. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. So I just thought I'd bring you along and show you where I'm at, and perhaps do a pocket or two with you, maybe over the next week while I'm putting it together. I've got some fabrics that I've pulled out as well. So I've got the Christmas tree one, and I think that's going to go with the tartan one because it just matches the colours perfectly. So I think that's going to go with that journal. And then this one, you can't really see the Santas the way it's folded. Oh, there we go. This one has got Santas on, and they reminded me of the Santas that Amy's used in her kit. It looks quite similar to me. So this one's going to be a wraparound journal, I think, to go with this one, I think. Subject to change, as my work always seems to be. So I haven't done an awful lot. I've done 2 things for each journal. Woohoo! I've done an envelope made out of a book page. The book that I've got is is it Norman Rockwell? I've got it laying around somewhere. I can't see it now. Norman Rockwell, with some of his images in, and I've used a few pages in here as well. I've had it a couple of years now. So I've made some envelope. Well, I've made an envelope, 2 envelopes, one for each journal, and they will go on one of the blank pages. And I may put some decoration on it. So each of them will have one of those in it. So I've done those. And then for the fronts, I've done, Amy has this included in her letters to Santa. It's a Santa letter. So what I wanted to do was put that on the front there, and have it as a flip. So there's one for each. They'll go on there, and then that will flip out. I've decorated it with a Santa. These Santas, I think, could be from Lorna Taylor. As I say, I've pulled out what I had left over from last year, and I just put it all in a Christmas bag. I didn't label it. But that will flip out that way, and it's got a journaling card in there with some extra journaling space on. So I think that looks quite nice. And then this one as well will go on the front of one of them, and that's got a Santa on the back again, and another. These images are Mrs. Cogg's Adorable Christmas, and I know it's that because it still had the label on the bottom. So I've done those 2, so there's one each to go in there. And I wanted to make something to go on this front page because I want to hide this because that's going to stick on there like that. So I want to put something on that's going to cover that up. And I'm in two minds what to do. I could just put some Christmas paper over it and then have that something like this as a pocket. But I want to use that, I think, something like that later on in the journal. So I thought I'd do another couple. I know I've done these with you before, but I think it's worth, you know, I just want to show you what I'm making. And you do tend to use similar pockets and things. These papers are from Amy's Woodland Santa, so I'm kind of mixing them up. And what I thought I would do is one of the pockets that I've done before, where it'll go in the front of the journal. I think this is too wide at the moment. I don't know, where does it fold? Folds there. So no, I think you'd still get a journal, a card in there, but I might cut that one inside down slightly so that it makes it easier to get something in and out. So that will, sorry, I'm going off screen, aren't I? Getting carried away. This is one of the ones that will flip out, and there'll be writing space on these two, I think, but I think I'm only going to put it up to here so that you can still see that Santa. So I put some writing journaling paper on there, and then it's going to have a pocket on the front as well. So that's what I want to do, but this isn't going to be a tuck in there, it's just going to be a pocket. That's what I was thinking of doing, so I thought I would make them and see how we get on. So I'll make this one. Well, let's make the other base. So I've got that base made. I've got the papers that I'm thinking I might use. Where am I going? So to make these, it's quite simple. Fold your book page in half. This is a big book, so that's why I'm using the pages, because it's quite hard to use them in journals sometimes, isn't it? So I think I want mine to be 3.5 inches wide, so it's a good size pocket on the front. Yep, that's 3.5. And I know that it only needs to be 8 inches because my journal is 8 inches. So I'm going to do it slightly smaller, just so that I know it fits on the page. And before I carry on, I will just make sure that it will fit. Yeah, that fits on there. So you're not going to see this actual book. You'll see Santa because I won't cover him up, but you won't see any of this. That'll all get covered up. So I want to put a pocket on the front, and I want the pocket to be 3.5 inches, which is the width of this, roughly. So I'm just going to use one of these book pages again, and I'm just going to make a pocket to stick on the front. And I'm thinking, I bet you wondered what the burning smell was. I think I'm going to make the pocket 7 inches. So I'm going to cut it 7.5, because I want to put a fold on the bottom so that you can get something in and out the pocket easily. So I'm just going to score, I'm going to do a 1/2 inch down there. And I said I want it to be 3.5, didn't I? 3.5. I think I'm going to do it 1/8 of an inch less, just so that it does sit nicely on it. That will fold there. So I can cut that extra off now. Don't need that bit. Sorry, Santa. And then we want a 1/2 inch at the bottom so that we've got a nice pocket. So I hope that makes sense. I know I've got quite a few new journal makers that are watching my channel at the moment. So if I'm giving too much information for those of you that know what you're doing, please bear with me. But I want to make sure that those that are starting can understand what I'm doing. they might not want to understand what I'm doing. So this is the bit that's going to be the flip. Yep. And that is going to be the pocket that sits on there. So I might actually have it as a tuck. You see, I'm changing my mind already. So now I can't have it as a tuck because this hasn't got a back to it. If I was to stick a piece of paper on there and make it, shall I do that? Yeah, why not? Why not? I've got that paper spare, haven't I? So I think if I make that 3 inches, that will fit on. So I will do it. Change my mind, honestly. So I'll just stick that on there. And then with that, we can use that as a tuck spot underneath. And if I find some glue, we'll do that. I'm just looking for a piece of scrap paper I'm trying to keep my mat as clean as I can. So I'm going to fold those in like that, and I'm just going to run some glue around and just stick that on the back. Which way will it go on? That'll be at the front. So you're not going to see that. If I'd been a little bit, I might redo that pocket actually and do the same, but I'll do it the usual way. And then of course we'll just cut that off. I think my blade needs sharpening, doesn't it? It's not cutting very well. There we go. Okay, so that will go on there, and it will, you can see there's going to be a tuck spot just under there. So I'm going to get another piece of paper and make another one for here. Just bear with me a moment. Okay, I'm back. So I've got myself another piece of paper. So I want the 1/2 inch at the bottom. I've just cut this to 8 inches. So to fit my page, I want it to have a gusset at the bottom because it just makes it easier to get your tag in and out when you do it that way, I think. So that's going to be across the bottom. Then I need it to be just less than 3.5 inches. So if I make a crease just there, and I know I'm folding this the way that we're not supposed to, but never mind. And then I want it to be 3.5, a bit less than 3.5. What am I doing? Think, Carol. I want it to be that bit less than 3.5, don't I? So I'm looking at my measurements upside down. So I'm going to go 1/8 less than 3.5. That's better. Just cut these corners off just so that it's not quite so bulky. And cut this bottom one off because we don't need the double bulk. And then that will go over there. And then I can cut some off. Make a little mark, so I don't need all of that, do I? So that can cut off. Getting a right mess already, and I've only just started with you all. Oops, didn't cut that very well, look, did I? Get my folds in. And then that, perfect, yeah, that's fine. That'll go on there and it'll show that there's a tuck. So we've got the 2 of them. Oh, I just need to, do I want to close these now? Yes, I think I do. I do. So just put some glue down here and down there. Fold that over. And then across the bottom there as well. That's one. And then this, yeah, that's right, are both at the same stage. I'd already made this one, hadn't I? So I have got 2 pockets that I've just glued up. No, I've got 2 pockets going onto flips. So first of all, I want to cover a bit of this because that's going to go on there like that. So I want to cover that, and then I'll probably will cover that as well. So what have I got bits and bob wise? That fits quite well on there, doesn't it? We'll use that. Okay, the pixies have been, I've lost my tear ruler. One moment. Okay, back again. So those pixies had taken it away, as they do. They always do, don't they? So I'm going to put that on there. Tear it. If that fits, it'll be a miracle. Well, they do happen sometimes then. And then I'm going to tear it off at the bottom there. Make sure I've got it the right way round because it's going to open. That's going to go on there. Just take a little bit off the bottom, I think. Super duper. And put some glue on there and stick it on there. Have any of you started Christmas journals yet? I wasn't going to do Christmas journals this year. And then I saw Amy's kit and I just liked the images. And it went well with that piece of those fabrics that I'd got. So I thought, well, I'm going to do it. See if I can get that kind of sort of on. Oops. I've got such sticky fingers, really have. It's got a little bit sticky in there, look. Okay, and so when that goes on there, you'll just see the edge of that, and I'll put a thumb notch in there when leave the glue to dry just for a minute. And then I need to do the same on this one. Let me just look for a piece of paper. Okay, so I thought I'd switch my camera back on and I haven't. So I've backed those two, so that's going to open, that's going to open, that's going to be the pocket, it's going to be a pocket there, and it's going to be a tuck spot there, and that's going to be the other one, so that's going to be a tuck spot there and a pocket there. So I want to cover these 2 bits now. And I've got those bits of Amy's Woodland Santa, and I think I would like to use those. So I want to use the girls and boys on that one. So I'm going to use my cutting ruler for that, and I think it's going to be about 3, just over, less than 3.5 we said, didn't we? What did I say that was? Memory of a goldfish. It's just, yeah, 1 less than 3.5. And the light's shining on it, I can't quite see. I'd like to get all of the sledge in if I can. So move the ruler over a bit and I'll just take a bit off the back. 1 less than 3.5. Here we go. Double check, Carol. I think it could just be fractionally less than that. Okay. Take the top off. For some reason my printer's decided to print more at the top than at the bottom. I don't know why. I think I could do with taking just a slither off there as well. Pencil. Everything disappears. I tell you, there are gremlins around. It does just need a slither off the edges, doesn't it? So cut the bottom. Take a bit off the bottom. Yeah. I only want to take a tiny wee piece. Oh dear, there's a dog barking outside. Isn't that cute? Right, I'm going to glue that one on before I do the next one. If you're making Christmas journals, let me know what you're making. I'd love to know what kit's your favourite Christmas journal. What kit you've used. I've used a number of kits. I've got a lot from Artie Mays. I love those. Go back to those quite often. I don't think I've used one of Amy's Christmas kits before. I've used Amy's kits before, and I love them. They're beautiful. I've used Rachel's from Roxy Creations. Hers are fabulous. Which one would I rather put it on? I quite fancy having Santa peeking at the children. Does that look odd? It does look a bit odd having Santa peeking there, doesn't it? I think what I might do, sorry Santa, is cover Santa. I just don't like seeing him peeking over the top. I thought I would, but I don't. So I'm going to cover him. Not that I don't like Santa. I do like that image of Santa, but I just thought it looked a bit odd, peeking over the way that he was. I thought you might see more of him. So I'm just going to cover it with that piece of paper instead. There, that's better. That makes me happier. And I might just take a fraction off this edge as well. It's just me being fussy. I've left too much white there, so I just want to cut that down a little bit. Or not, look. Still opens. You can still see the edge there. I'm happier with that. Now I've got a circle punch that I just want to put a little notch in there, like I do, so that when you open it, more likely you'll see it. Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm going to glue that one on there. So around 3 sides, because I want it to be a tuck. Now you know what I've not done? I didn't put a notch in there, did I? Sorry folks if this has gone blurred. Just wanted to put a little notch on there. I'm going to glue that on there. I mean, you can put this pocket all the way to the top if you want to. I tend to leave a gap, mainly because then when I put a card, a journaling card in here, it's not sticking out over the top of the rest of the journal. Right, let's just leave that to dry while I do this one. I had another piece of paper, yeah. This Santa with these children. I like that one. I want to get as much of him in as I can, and the children, don't I?